How's it going, guys? My name is FunOrangeFan12, and welcome to another week of the Osu Loved Map Showcase. This week, it's up to just the standard maps for the video, so let's dive right into it. Jesse's map of the Memories of You remix from Persona hails from the 2013 era as one of the most popular unranked jump maps of its time. It stood apart with its inclusion of doubles, space streams, and jagged sliders, adding extra difficulty to those who thought they had jumps down. Nowadays, it stands as a memory of similar maps of its time. Akali has been a prevalent unranked mapper for over 4 years now, and is showing no signs of slowing down, pumping out incredibly technical maps like Speedrun on a regular basis. It felt like 2017 was the year of the Akali map in some respects, as he seemed to spend the entire year one-upping himself and pushing the limits of playability. Speedrun is the peak of this evolution, being incredibly visceral to play, as well as still being a very well-constructed map. The oldest map in this week's list, Yupari's Blue Amber, can be very simply described as a masterpiece. It has inspired mappers such as Xarius and Pishifat today through its incredibly creative use of storyboarding, sectioning off half of the screen for parts of the song. For a map that came out during an era of symmetrical mapping, Yupari manages to maintain an incredibly pleasing aesthetic while breaking away from symmetrical patterns. It's difficult to overstate how influential this map is. A map that the community has been craving for a while now. Captain Square Banny is no new name to the loved category, and the 280 plus favorites on Destination Calabria show why. While it's very simply, at its core, an 8-star jump map, this map has grown to reach high status among top players as an incredibly catchy and fun map to train your aim on. Destination unknown. Days in the Garden seems like a map that was simply forgotten along the ranking process. It has beautiful xylophone and bells hit sounding and a wonderfully fun aesthetic mapping to back it. It's a mystery how it was never ranked, as its staggering 600 plus favorite count shows its incredible popularity among the community. Despite being the most recently submitted map in this week's Love Vote, Mello's gorgeous map of Kami no Manimani has captured the attention of several top players and mappers for its incredible incredibly expressive style. The map is filled with patterns that will push your finger and aim control to the extreme. But despite the high difficulty, it feels nearly effortless to play and fits the cheerful song perfectly. If you haven't seen or played this map before, I implore you to check it out, as it's one of the greatest hidden gems I've ever seen.
所以说，别向我祈求太多，和生命缠绕依旧，海外开放的幸福就在你的左右。月下美酒饮一口，敲锣打鼓都不够，随了水了心了再向前走。所以说，不管下雨又刮风，过了春夏又秋冬，只要相信我的爱就在整个宇宙。你的路上迎着风，在每一声都移动，相互以后就能越挫越勇。
Lesja has always been known as an innovative mapper who would set standards for years to follow. His rendition of disconnected hardcore is unlike anything you've likely ever seen. Initially aiming for old approval status, it features CS0 circles, burai sliders, and even playable off-screen objects. Add all of this onto the fact that this map was submitted in 2012, and it should be no misunderstanding of why this map is the epitome of what the loved section has to offer. With the highest difficulty in the set clocking in at 8.19 stars, High Free Spirits by Setia is no walk in the park. As you may have guessed from both the mapper and the song, the map features plenty of cross-screen jumps as well as challenging symmetrical patterns that will definitely test your aim. Keep an eye out to see if Cookie Z will repeat his absolutely legendary hidden SS score if this map makes it through. 'The Sea of Memory' is a great example of a truly beautiful map, both from a player's perspective and a viewer's perspective. To me, this map really marks the point where Uruchi cemented himself not only as a god player, but a god mapper as well. Everything from the interesting movement to the theming of the patterns blends together to create a really unique experience while playing. Give it a play and drift off into the Sea of Memories. Rounding out the list of loved maps up for vote this week is Synesthesia, a drum and bass piano track filled to the brim with space streams and high spacing jumps as per the usual R-less style. Despite the low star rating in comparison to some of his other maps, this is one of Lapagna's most popular maps, and it's quite easy to see why. The map plays very nicely, and is certainly a classic unranked map that is both challenging yet incredibly soothing. Thanks everyone for checking out this week's episode of the Osu Loved Maps Showcase. Be sure to check out the forum post down below to vote in your favorite maps this week. We'll see you guys next week.